Hi, Jackie. How are you?
I'm good, Fred. How are you doing?
Doing great. Glad you can join us today. You're the latest victim, just kidding,
Ooh.
of our, of our member spotlight series here at the Santa Ana Chamber. So let's just jump right into the interview and tell me a little bit about what inspired you to start, Hire AS, and how did it does align with you and your wife?
Good question. Yeah, I I've always wanted to work with my wife. My wife is a writer. She's a copywriter. So, and
Oh,
I thought, yeah, I always thought she was very talented. In fact, she she's actually her writing is so good that it also compelled me to meet her. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. So, we met through an app called Meetup, which is, they do events and you meet up. And so she wrote the copy for this meetup, and I was completely like entranced. I was like, this sounds like a good time. So even since day one, even before meeting her, I knew she was just a good way. She had a good way with her words. And so my background, I've worked in, different agencies and marketing departments, and so I've always wanted to kind of come together and do creative work, strategic work with causes that we care about, and social good and small business and nonprofit and all that stuff. And so she finally gave me an okay when we moved in together, and it was during the pandemic, and we realized like we're gonna be together. We hadn't been engaged yet, but we knew that we wanted to build something together, and that's why one crazy night we just laid up we were just laid up late night chatting, and we're like, what if we made a actually did a business together? And that's where Hire AS was. The origin story is that we don't know who said it. We still don't know who the one that actually was like Hire AS, but we just knew that we wanted people to know that like we were a team, and that we were bilingual, and that we were bicultural, and that we wanted to, you know, that we wanted people to hire us, and also be, curious about the language and curious about what we do. And so that day we bought the domain, and I remember we created like the Instagram and everything, but it took 2 years
oh,
to
wow.
make the leap. Yeah, it's not an easy, being an entrepreneur is a decision that, some people are able to make it overnight, but it took us, we weren't quite ready to make that leap. And it took another 2 years to finally, I had been in a job that was great. It was something on paper that I had wanted to kind of, aspired to, but it wasn't fulfilling. And I knew something was off. And that's when that was the year in 2022 when I told her, maybe we should revisit that thing that we were talking about that late night. And she's like, you know what? Let's go for it.
And
And
you had kept that domain for since that time?
kept it. Yeah, had kept it. And yeah, I can't believe it took that long now. I'm thinking about it, but it is scary. I think there's always that fear, but the fear can also be turned into and motivation and desire and ambition and all that stuff. So yeah, that's how Higher AS came to be in 2022. And in the summer of 2022, we started our business officially, I guess, but we built it slowly, but that's how it came about.
Nice. How many clients do you have now?
Right now, well, we do a lot of projects. So a lot of our clients are project to project. So at one time we can have, 2 to 5. It could be slower months where we have less. And then we have a couple that we do like ongoing. So it's
Oh, yeah. So you do project and retainer, right? At the same
yeah,
time?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good,
Yes.
good.
So a little bit of both.
So this is a good segue into my next question. So what's one challenge that really, molded you and shaped you as the entrepreneur that you are today?
Okay, this is a funny story. I wonder if I'll make you laugh with this one, Fred. So so in 2022, we opened the business, and we had a couple of clients to kind of just, well, A, to see if Anna and I could work together and be okay, because we're partners in life and business. So we kind of took our time to really kind of understand how we wanted to make it. And then in 2023, that's when we sort of were like, okay, we're going full force, and that's when I joined the chamber. That was a conscious decision of like, I'm putting myself out there. And I think I was naive in thinking that like you put yourself out there and people are just going to get it, but it takes time. And I remember I was getting frustrated the first couple quarters, and I remember my therapist, I was telling her about it, and she made a comment, and she said, "You know what? Who knows? Maybe you're just not cut out for it." But she was using reverse psychology on me, because when she said that, I was like, "Wait." how dare you say that? Like, of course I'm cut out for this. And that I think was something that I think psychologically really was a turning corner for me is realizing like in the midst of the no's, you realize how much you really want it and how much you believe in it. And that has been the uh, biggest source of influence and motivation in this journey is how much it tests you of like how much you believe in yourself, in your product, in your service, in your mission. And that has been, yeah, it's been instrumental. Instrumental.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak, right?
It's not, no. So yeah, that was definitely, I think it was a turning point. My mindset, it had to change.
All right. So now that, so you joined the chamber in 2023. So how has being part of the chamber helped your business grow and connect with the community?
Oof. I mean, where do I begin with that? I well, first of all, it was such a welcoming space of other fellow business owners. And so when you start off as an entrepreneur, like as an entrepreneur, it can be at times lonely. And so being in this space where everybody gets it and everybody's rooting for you, everyone's willing to connect you, refer you, learn about your business. Because even half the battle is just like giving us an opportunity to just share what we do. And it was immediate. Like it was immediate. Victor from Gorm was somebody that sticks out in my mind. He was just immediately like, let's get together. I want to learn. I want to, what you do. Uh, and so giving that opportunity for us to just be considered is a big deal. Paula also stands out to me. I remember Paula, she was at one of the first, I think the very first business luncheon that I went to, and she came in and there was just something about her where I was like, I need to know this woman. And I remember I went up to her afterwards and I was like, can we like exchange information? She's like, yeah, absolutely. And we got coffee and I'll never forget this. We were talking about the business, and this is right around that time where I was a little frustrated. And I remember she was like, we need to get you in front of as many people as possible. Like you got to go to this event, you got to go to do this. And just somebody who's just like off the bat, just willing to connect you, to learn, to help you, to support you, to anchor you. It was just like, whoa, like it really, again, it helps you, it literally helps your business, right? But it also helps you that self talk, that self journey, self-development journey that you have as an entrepreneur. And so that those are some two instances that I remember very vividly when joining the chamber. And since then, right, like we all are in similar places and we see each other and we refer each other. I literally just got a text from Matthew. We have an event coming tomorrow and he's like, I want to go. I want to take somebody with me. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like it's just like, you know, it goes back to like there's just a community who's really rallying for you and that's you need that. You need that both from a business side point, but you need that for your like, you know, for the for that mental
Yeah.
part of it all.
And you were talking about Paula Garcia Arsenault, right? One
Yes,
of our board members of the Santa Ana Chamber board member, correct?
yes, Paula. Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. I'm glad she was able to assist you early on and to, help you be where you guys are today. So that's good. What is
Cool.
with Chase, right? Chase Bank.
Chase, yeah.
So tell me, what decided what's been your favorite thing about operating a business, especially doing a business in Santa Ana? What's been your favorite part? Did you grow up in Santa Ana, by the way?
You know what? I didn't, and that's what's it was a very strategic move because for me, my roots, like being Mexican American, my parents are both Mexican, like me finding community and culture and spaces where I can really connect in that intersectionality of my life is very important. It always has been. I remember when I chose what college to go to, I chose Cal State Fullerton and I joined Hermanas Unidas and I was part of this group and I was embedded in this community because I want to be in those spaces. It's where I feel the most authentic to myself and my background and my family and so it was a strategic move and being in a space like Santa Ana where there's just so much heart and there's just so much culture and expression and support and community and so those are my values. That was very in I mean higher ellas, this is it's like part of that. Our business name is in Spanish on purpose. This is a community that we really want to help uplift and get to know. And I don't know, it's really special. And so yes, it was a very intentional move to be like, we want to be a part of this chamber. Because there could have been some other chambers that we could have, joined, but it was Santa Ana, the one that we chose. So.
So do you think, are you like a Santa Ana expert now? Is that
I
would
mean, we're
say?
getting there. Our event that we're having on Tuesday is in Santa Ana. I have a blog called Donas y Tortas, and our first live event last
Love
year
that name.
thank you, was in Santa Ana. Our first live event was there, and it was through those relationships and those businesses that we've been able to do some really amazing things. So yeah, I hope that I can continue to learn and grow and be an advocate for Santa Ana. I'm also part of the board for High School Inc. And one of their main, yeah, they're one of their big, their major schools that they support, Valley High, is in Santa Ana. So yeah,
My
it's
old alma mater, by the way. It's my
oh,
old.
is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, right on, right on. Yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah, that's where I want to be. Yeah.
All right. So now that you're a Santa Ana expert, tell me, about a hidden gem in Santa Ana. Hint, hint. They're your featured guest tomorrow at your mixer.
Oh, good segue right there. Yes, actually, so a hidden gem. Well, I guess not so much anymore because they've been doing such a great job with their social media. But there's a small business called Bari Pasta and Pizza, and they're right here in Santa Ana, and they've been around for a minute, but their daughter Maria really used marketing as a true tool the last few years and has, catapulted this business both from a marketing standpoint. They're pretty viral. They have over 100,000 followers on Instagram. They've got, influencers who go on their own to check out this food and getting that reach and visibility. And they just opened another location, not in Orange County, but we'll see what happens there. And so it's been really cool to tomorrow, our event, we get to kind of like show, that it is the power of marketing is there's power in it. And she's proven that. It took time. Marketing is a long-term game. It took a few years, but I think if people understand that, if they're in it, they're committed, some really beautiful things can happen.
Tell us about the power. Now that you talked about the power of marketing, tell us a little bit about the power of networking.
Oh, that's another powerful one. Networking has been a, such a key part of our growth here with Higher AS. I remember I was doing my mileage. I remember we're doing my mileage for 2023, and we were out and about almost, I mean, I'm not gonna say daily, but we were out every week, and it was just we met so many people that now I can look back, it's year 3, and we're like, wow, we've cultivated all these different relationships that are now pouring into the work we're doing today, and I think being in space, so networking is, yes, it's about meeting people and seeing how you can connect with them, but it's also about just being in spaces that you do want to support, that you want to learn, that you want to cultivate in and pour your work back into those spaces. And so we've been able to do that. So yes, there were exhausting days, Fred. Yes, sure. I will not deny the truth of that, but I'm so proud. Like Anna and I are just so proud of what we're doing. And, we're double downing now. We're really committing with our this quarterly marketing mixer series that we're doing, that we're launching tomorrow. We have a new podcast. I don't know if you've seen, Fred. We have a podcast called Dipworthy, where we really are sharing some bite-sized marketing insights for people, because we believe in the power of strategy. We believe in the power of marketing, and we understand there's also like that educational gap that we want to fill, and we want to inspire people, because it's at everyone's fingertips. I mean, technology, as you know very well, that technology can be something that could be a great tool for us to grow our business, to deepen connections with our customers and reach new ones. So
Amazing, amazing. So say if you were to go back to 2020 and you were to go, and give advice, your older self now goes back to talk to, a very, very young,
very, very
very,
young.
very, very young
Yeah, I
Jackie,
didn't have as much grays back then. They
very,
all
very
came
young Jackie. What kind of advice would you give to a new business?
out.
Do they need to join a chamber? I mean, do they need to grow the business, the community? Just what kind of advice would you give
Oh,
if you were to start your business to somebody starting their business right now?
I would say, first off, I think it's so important to understand, what are your values as a business? Like, what are those values? What are those things that really are going to ground you as a business, that you really care about, the impact you want to make with your business? Like, really understanding that, because that's the kind of information that you get to share when you're networking, or it will inform like where you're going to network. So for me, joining the chamber was important because it came back to this idea of community. And so if you're looking, which I think community honestly should be, when you talk about small business owners, like it should be a great part of that. So understand your values. Networking, yes, is a big deal because listen, you can put stuff on social media, but there's nothing quite like really connecting with people in person and really forming those connections and having those conversations. I'm a big believer of like, I can't tell you how many coffee chats I went on, Fred, but I loved it because, when you're networking, you're not only, getting to know people, but you're getting to understand some of their problems, right? And where can you fill in to be the solution? Whether it's through your business or you as a fellow entrepreneur providing resources and building trust with the community, building trust with the community, but also them building trust with you, right? And what you have to offer. So I think networking is a big deal. Obviously, I'm a big fan of the chamber, so I definitely think like join the Santa Ana Chamber if you're looking for a place for community and culture and connection. That is what it has been for us. And I guess the last thing I would say would be believe, 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 believe beyond reasonable doubt that you were meant for this. Even on the days when you feel like you're not getting that sign from the universe,
Uh,
believe that yes, you were meant for this. Because by even just making a decision like I want to have this business and going for it, that's the message you're sending to yourself is that yeah, we're gonna make this happen. And so believe, believe, believe.
and this was a TED Talk by Jackie Garcia. You should be a motivational speaker. That was amazing. You're hitting it out of the park.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you.
What is a product or service? We talked about how you're AS, but we never really said what you did. We know you work in marketing, you're having mixers here and there, you have a podcast and all this. But what product or service or initiative do you wish that your business offers that you wish more people knew about?
Yeah, no, great question. Very important. So one of our big, I guess, bread and butter is a marketing strategy. So oftentimes, a lot of businesses, they've been in business maybe a few years and for whatever reason, whatever marketing efforts they're doing are not converting. They're not reaching their business goals. Maybe they're not reaching the right people. And so a lot of the times we often find that these small business owners, they don't have a foundation. They don't have a map, a plan to get them there. And that's where we come in. We want you to trust us to build that plan together. And that means looking at your target audience, the people you're serving, understanding how to connect with them and how you play a role in that impact. We look at competitors. And so I know a lot of people get like, oh my gosh, a competitor, but it's okay. It's okay to learn from what people are doing in your space. And also competitors doesn't necessarily mean a direct competitor. It could mean that maybe there's another entity or another territory that are speaking to the same people. And so it's important to understand how those things are happening. So then we can unveil how you as a business can connect in a new and unique way, which should always be the case, right? And then from there, that's where Anna comes in with her messaging is she gets to put together some really cool brand messaging and writing that story that really grounds you in your business. And then from there, we do content pillars. So we look at major themes of like how to create this content to letter back to your goals. And we put it all together in this really awesome package. And it's this beautiful guide that helps not only business owners, but maybe your business owner who's ready to maybe hire a marketing intern or a marketing assistant. Well, this guide is this tool that can help them as well. It's meant to help your team. And I like to say it grounds businesses because I think a lot of the times we're like, oh, we can do this or that. But if you go back to this strategy, you go, you know what, that trend doesn't make sense because it doesn't go back to what we're trying to do. Or maybe that client doesn't make sense. Or maybe that organization, that partnership doesn't make sense. Or, maybe this is the kind of content we need to do because that's going to reach our goals. And so that's our biggest sort of, which is a handful. It's a handful what I just said. And so that's why, we try to touch point in smaller ways. And then once they get to us, we explain the bigger version of what we do. So we offer that. We offer targeted campaigns. So that's like maybe something a little bit more contained, whether it's like a new product or you want to reach a new demographic. Like say you've been only advertising in Santa Ana, but you know what? You're ready to advertise in Tustin or Orange. And so we put together something more unique to that space. And then the last thing we offer is consulting. So maybe you're not ready to invest in these bigger projects, but you still need a sounding board. You need someone to talk to, brainstorm with, and maybe identify some of the things that you're stuck on. And so we offer the consulting as well. So those are our major buckets.
Great way to describe consulting. You need just somebody to bounce off ideas, somebody that knows something and just bounce off ideas. Great way
Yes.
great way to say it. All right. So let's close out with what is your favorite, now that you've got to know Santa Ana, you're a Santanera, I guess.
Thanks.
What's your favorite Santa Ana event or tradition? And does your business participate in any of it?
Actually, the first one that came to mind was tacos and tacones. So I don't know if you've heard of this.
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay, so NH, National Hispanic Business Women Association, they are a nonprofit organization that helps support Latinas in business and entrepreneurs. And that was probably one of the first events I attended, actually, where I was like, it just like, there's just something really beautiful about that event because it kind of mixes like the business side to like the human side of, you know, who we are. And it was really, it felt like a very welcoming space. And so since attending, we've been able to do some work with them. We've done some, marketing videos with them, and of course it's fun for us. It's just fun to see women who are supporting each other, who are uplifting each other, and we get to be in that space. It kind of reminds me a little bit about it reminds me of my days when I was in college, when I was part of Hermanas Unidas, and it just reminds me that like you're never too old to like be in a space where you can really build deeper connections with people. And so that's one of my favorite events. They just had it on Thursday. And yeah, it was a beautiful night.
Great. So thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us. So for everyone, tell us how they can reach you.
But yeah.
How's it like reach you?
Yeah, I can't plug myself here as a marketer. Yes, you can find us on any social media platform. You just literally write hire with that's HIRE, ellas, ELLAS. And of course, we would love to invite you to subscribe to our podcast. It's on Spotify and YouTube. It's called Dipworthy. And yeah, just look up Hire Ellas and you should be able to find it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us at our latest Santa Ana Chamber Spotlight series. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you, Fred.
All
Yay.
right.